hit that record button. Maybe we do in fact point out that these lights are Mighty Duck colored. You can barely tell because it's, you know, it's kind of weird, but you know, we got the Mighty Duck theme going. Orlando ran the Philly special and it was glorious. The AA, ladies and gentlemen. We are good to go for our second season at the helm with the Anaheim Ducks. Again, last year we made it into the second round of the playoffs because memes are just glorious. The roster itself is still mostly the same. Still rely on, in fairness, we are running a lot of youth. Sprong, Comtois, Richie still a little bit younger, Jones, and Troy Terry. Silva's about to, I have the fight up in the corner. Trust me, I'm paying attention to it. And our defense is, again, the top four is the same. Third pairing, Morrow and Nemeth were signed for the year just to have somebody on the roster. John Gibson, though, more than likely, will lead us to the playoffs. So that should be fun. Missing out repeatedly on top picks because we have a goalie who can't help himself but to be great. So, you know, just the normal stuff. Just the normal issues. Or we'll actually start tanking like the real world Anaheim Ducks. Which, again, this is still technically Saturday. I don't understand what happened to them today. Just literally giving up. And then Kevin Boyle makes his pro debut. And it's like, oh, you poor man. Like, that must, I mean, again, the feeling of making your debut in the National Hockey League, especially if you're Kevin Boyle, who I think is 24, 25, it's got to be amazing. But the circumstances of it, not as amazing. As it's just like, all right, Kevin, get out there, please. Try to stop the bleeding. Even though our defense is just doing nothing for you. Just brutal. What's a good drinking game? Oh, God. Sneeze counter. Having to clear my throat counter. That as well. There's quite a few counters you could do. Ducks roster isn't that bad. It's coaching that's killing them. I completely agree. It's coaching that's killing them and an owner who doesn't care. I'm not trading a first-round pick for Marco Scandella. Get out of my face. Get out of my face. Oh, boy. The Bruins need to stop sitting on leads. I agree. I fell asleep in the second period, or during the second period. It was an afternoon game. I'm aware. Yeah. At least they won in overtime. There's another clearing of the throat. Hold on, one more. Aha! There we go. That's a beverage. Anyway, what the hell was this? I was gonna do like the spicy meatball and couldn't. But, you know how it is. That's a no from me, dog counter. Yeah. Yeah. God bless Randy Jackson. God bless Randy Jackson. Did you see Crosby, Ragdoll, Tyler Johnson? I did not. I was scrolling through my YouTube feed, though, when I woke up from my second nap of the day. And I'm not trading a first for Nathan Bastian. And I did see that there were a lot of fights. I did see that there were quite a few tussles. In the Penguins-Islanders game. Penguins-Lightning game tonight, not the Islanders game. Sorry. I have the Islanders on the brain. I don't know why. I can't even make the excuse that, it's like, hey, we just played them. I'm not, like, no. Again, that trade makes no sense. That trade should be, hey, you give us a 7th, we'll give you Brandon Smith in a 3rd so that you take on his shitty contract. Those draft picks should be reversed, if I were to even consider that. But no, that's not. Those aren't the type of offers that we get, unfortunately. First round pick for a 7th round pick, and you take on my bad contract, EAAI. Pretty much how it goes, unfortunately. But what are you gonna do? Now I want to watch Crosby, Ragdoll, Tyler Johnson. Damn it. I hate Brendan Smith so much. You shouldn't hate Brendan Smith. You should hate the contract that was given to him. The ref's attire in the AAF is laughable. This is going to turn into me just watching a AAF game if we don't stop. Isaac Lundstrom for a 2nd, a 3rd, and Connor McMichael. I'm going to say no. Because Lundstrom's a medium top 6. He's also a 76 at 20 years old. McMichael is a low top 6. Indeed. That's going to be a no. Thank you very much, Minnesota, though. I appreciate the offer. Because it wasn't totally laughable. Let's do it. I will hop on the AAF bandwagon. But not yet. Not yet. Reviewing AAF on stream, uploaded by Tuki24. Yeah, I might get in trouble for that. Let's just watch nothing but the AAF. 2012 and 4, by the way. Damn. Henrique in a second for Shattenkirk in a third. I'm only tempted to say yes because that Henrique contract is pretty bad. Shattenkirk only has 2 years left. Really a year and a half at this point. I'm going to say no. I'm going to stay true to that contract extension for the moment. Let's be a tad bit loyal. Let's be a tad bit loyal to some of these default contracts that are in there. Because, I mean, where's the fun? Where's the fun in sitting there and trading away all of the bad contracts immediately? There's no fun in that. There's no fun in that at all. Not at all. 25, 15, and 5. We're going to make the playoffs at this rate. A second and a third for Artem Anisimov. A third and a fourth. So basically, Anisimov and a fourth for a second. No. No is the correct answer. Absolutely not is the correct answer. Because, obviously. A second... Okay, like, this is such a dumb offer. No. Why? No. Come on, man. Come on. That's such a bad offer. Here, if we package a third-round pick with this terrible offer, will you give us a second? If we package this terrible contract with a fifth, will you give us a third? No. No, I won't. Thank you. Wow. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like the trade logic is off. Just a bit. Just a bit. Only a little bit, though. Only a little bit. Stopped watching the prequel before the end because, goddamn it, shit. Hey, 3 isn't that bad. 3 isn't that bad. And it still stands to date as the only Star Wars movie I've seen in a theater. A 6th round pick for Jarabek. Now that is a realistic trade that I'm still not going to take. Like, how can something be so boring, outrageous, and sad at the same time? It's like sand, man. If you package anything with this terrible contract, we'll give... No, yeah, pretty much pyro. A 1st round pick straight up for Chris Kreider. I'm going to say no. Even though the deadline's coming up here. I'm gonna say no to that. I'd rather keep our 1st round pick, even though it's looking like we're going to be playoff bound. Let's sim to the deadline. We'll see what every other team has done. And potentially make trades? I don't know. There's a guy in the UFC that's called Israel. Is Nigerian and fights out of New Zealand. Indeed. Israel Adesanya. He's a beast. And he might currently be kicking Anderson Silva's ass. I don't know. Braden Shen in the 1st. I'm trying to pay attention to it. But, you know. I keep looking out of the corner of my eye. That's about it. Revenge of the Sith is my favorite Star Wars movie. It's at least very... What is more meme-worthy? Ryan Strome for a 4th. That's meme-worthy. What is more meme-worthy, though? People hate on Episode 1. Rightfully so. But there are more memes regarding Episode 3, which is generally considered the best of the 3 prequels. It's really weird. I heard you're really enjoying A Set Plan. I'm enjoying A Set Plan. Not enjoying the gameplay. Because, you know... Well, we don't want to get into spoilers here. People here should totally go watch it. I have the fight on in the background, trying to get into UFC more. As you should. Also, UFC more is funny to me. A meme doesn't always hate on something. Yeah, but come on. The Episode 3 memes... Most of them are hating. Like, not like Jar Jar levels of hating, but most of them are hating. the high ground, and there's so many memes from episode 3. We're in the playoffs. We are 1 point back of the division title lead. If you turn off Fog of War, you still have to assign and fire scouts. Yes. Just don't bother having any pro scouts. That's completely worthless. Completely worthless. Let's see how we're doing. I mean, I don't really care to go out and buy at the deadline. Because why would we? Why would we buy at the deadline? It makes no sense at all. We're trying to be bad and trying to get younger players to develop. As... Oh, gee, okay, I'm totally not distracted by this fight. Not at all. Not at all. John Gibson's a beast. Kincaid's been okay. Who do we have on defense? I mean, defense, I'm sure. Yeah, Hampus Lindholm is a beast. Manson's doing well. Fowler with 20 points. Montour's doing well. The third pairing is bad, but not terrible. It's your strategy dump and chase. You're damn right it is. You're damn right it is. Raquel's having a decent season. Getzlaff. Perry has 20 goals. 28 points for Devon Shore. Henrique's doing okay. He's still not worth $5 million a season. Kasha, 24 points for Richie. There are no changes to make. Daniel Sprong has 17 goals. There are no changes to make. Just keep this roster the same. I don't exactly have the intention of going out like we've done with Anaheim and being like, yeah, let's make the third line better or add a second line player. Although, to be honest, we could probably add a better top 6 guy on the left-hand side, drop Ryan Kessler, and potentially win a Stanley Cup. I'm really having to resist the urge to go out and get a top 6 forward. I genuinely think if we replace Devon Shore in the top 6, this team would win a cup in year 2. Because of the sim, not because of how good they are. I'm going to go see if there's a cheap top 6 option. Let's go find out. So they came out with a new patch and the gameplay's still that bad on HUT. Well, the big thing, HUT-wise, is that they said the AI will not make defensive actions towards the puck carrier. People have different opinions on what a defensive action is. I have still seen the AI poke check. I have still seen the AI go for a shot block. I mean, it's tough. And the problem is, they've also kind of bumped up incidental contact. Which again, good lord. That was Silverberg, wasn't it? That was Silverberg? Who got us that pick? Oh man, that's tremendous. HUT still hasn't found that perfect balance of we want to have realistic gameplay, we want to have arcade-style gameplay, and it's suffering as a result. Not to mention the penalties are way too inconsistent. If you watch the most recent episode of A Set Plan, you will see that. You will see that. Did you see the Ducks extended? I didn't, actually. Is that true? Probably is. I don't think there's anything we need to do. Like I said, we have the ability to improve the top 6 left wing. Our third pairing's still fine for the season because it's not a long-term solution. If there's a cheap top 6 option, I'm gonna buy. And we'll probably win the cup. Let's see what we got here. Torrey Krug's on the block over my dead body. Over my dead body he is. Matt Zuccarello in Calgary. Hold on. Let me double check here. So Krejci's on the block, but he's still going to have a year or 2. Yeah. Pozo's there. He's still going to have a long contract. Zuccarello could be an interesting rental. Zuccarello could be the answer here. Jake Bean and Fox are both on the block. Carl Soderberg. Getting Zuccarello might not be the worst idea. Franz Nielsen still has 3 years left. Thomas Vanek is also there as a cheaper option. How has Zook done this season? Let's see. 11 goals, 28 assists. It's not too bad. How has Vanek done in Detroit? Yeah, 24 points, 14 goals. Just a cheap option to maybe you know, bump up a bit more of an offensive presence over Devon Shore. Jeffrey Carter. 3 years left, though. That's not going to happen. Oh, boy. Montreal. Jeff Skinner. And Max Domi. Bit too expensive for a rental, though. A bit too expensive. I apologize, that tweet was from December 2018. Kind of old news, but still true. Yeah, pretty much. I don't blame you, though. I'm not going to call you out for lying to me, Ninja. You were correct. I would still label that correct. It's from December. Kreider, holy hell. So right now, we're looking at, if we wanted to get an upgrade, Zuccarello, Vanek, or Kreider. And Kreider has the best point output this season. I'm not saying it's the best idea to go out and get a rental here. But I truly think we could win the cup in year 2 with how this game sims. If we improve that top 6 by just a little bit. Ace Boy, what's going on, man? What's happening? Alright. So, for Kreider, we have the cap space to do this. Who are they interested in? Nobody that I'm really interested in giving up, apparently. Steele, Jones, Patrick Eves, Terry. Brent Gates is up to a 77. It's not too bad. Henry, who we drafted last year. Brent Gates is already a 4th-line guy, huh? He's really well-rounded, too. Do you have interest in draft picks? You do. I don't necessarily want to give up my 1st-round pick, but we are going to make the playoffs. How to pull this off? How to pull this off? I'm willing to give up Brent Gates in the deal. Which I know, that's saying a lot when I have a lot of value to make up for, but bear with me. Bear with me. We give up our 2nd, because we have our 1st, and we could just trade down if there's nobody available. How close would that be? Still needs a bit of work, huh? We're not going to have to give up too much to get this deal done. We have an extra 3rd-round pick this year, too. We have quite a few extra picks this year. What if we give up Brent Gates, a 2nd and a 3rd this year, so that would leave us with 2 first-round picks and a 3rd for Chris Kreider, just to see if this game is programmed in a way that's going to allow us to win a cup in a year or 2. How close is that to going through? Chris Kreider, welcome to Anaheim. We're buying in year 2 a 2nd, a 3rd, and a medium top 9 prospect to bring in Chris Kreider. Because why not? What's the worst that's going to happen? Oh boy. Now we might have to change the team around a little bit because Sam Steele has improved. Let's see what we're dealing with. So again, the plan was to have Kreider replace Shore. Kessler has 19 points. I still kind of want Comtois on that 3rd line. Let's see what we're dealing with here. Oh, what are we dealing with here? How am I gonna get this lineup set? Let's find out. Let's find out. How am I gonna get this lineup set? So again, the defense is fine. I'd rather have Larson there. Obviously that 3rd pairing sucks, but that's okay. I mean, we have Larson, who should be ready next year. The only thing I'm looking at, though, is the fact that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, our top 6 is sorted. We have 1 too many 3rd liners. And if I look down at Steele, I would prefer to have Sam Steele in the lineup if he's ready to go. But there's nobody who's a projected 3rd liner that I'd like to drop. Shore has 28 points. Kessler has 19. This is year 2. And we bought. For the sake of memes. I'm going to leave Sam Steele down in the AHL, I think. I think Kessler's just going to be a healthy scratch. I think that's the way to do it. I think that's the way to do it. So, I don't want to bring in Troy Terry directly for him, though. Alright, so I'm going to take out Comtois for Terry. And then we take out Ryan Kessler for Max Comtois. We run Comtois at fourth line center with Richie and Sprong. Third line is Jones, Shore, Terry. And now on the second line, we have Kreider, Henrique, and Andre Kasha. I either just completely screwed up the momentum that we had, granted I didn't have to give up too much to do it, or this team's gonna win. One or the other. I'm not sure which, but it's gonna be fun to find out. Is Chris Kreider, who is now our leading scorer, enough to make sure that we make the playoffs, even though I don't want to make the playoffs, but let's be honest, we're gonna make the playoffs anyway. So we might as well go full meme just to see what happens. We'll sim past the deadline and see what moves went down. Let's see how this goes. And we are indeed in first. We just jumped San Jose. The power, the magic of Chris Kreider as we beat Calgary 2-1. So we had that trade. Florida gets Shattenkirk for Turcotte in a first. Oh my god, Florida, what are you doing? Winnipeg, a second, a third, and Jesse Ylonen for Tobias Bjornfot in a second. Buffalo gets a third and a seventh for Zach Bogosian in a sixth. Goalie prospect in a third. Kovalchuk to Minnesota for not a whole hell of a lot. Boston gets 2 seconds of Ben Lovejoy for Zaboral and Kevin Miller. Dallas also gets Marcus Johansson and Ben Lovejoy. Oh wow, so they flipped Lovejoy immediately. But they got Marcus Johansson and Lovejoy for Cam York, Mikko Kokkonen in a third. Carolina picks up Strawman in a third for a first and a third. It's basically Strawman for a first. Dallas still wheeling and dealing. Gets a second and chase on for John Beecher, Tyler Pitlick in a fourth. Poor Tyler Pitlick. Back to Edmonton. A fate worse than death. No disrespect to Edmonton, but, I mean, come on. You get the meme. I'm not there to save the Oilers, man. What is Tyler Pitlick supposed to do? Alright. Let's see what happens. Will Chris Kreider put this team over the edge? Lead us to a division title? We know we're going back to the playoffs 2 years running. Our record was too good to more than likely not end up making it. So it's like, screw it. Let's embrace the meme and see if Chris Kreider can win us a Stanley Cup. Because he probably will. Although in saying that, we're now losing a few more games than I would prefer. But on the bright side, we didn't have to give up that much. Brent Gates, 2 picks. Boris, what's going on, man? What's going on? Can we win our 40th game of the year? Yes, we can. We beat Edmonton 8-2, by the way. I just want to point that out. Imagine beating Edmonton 8-2. Imagine. 43 wins. We should be playoff bound. 45, 29-8 in Season 2. We're going to have an amazing first-round pick thanks to Vegas in a trade to get Silfverberg last year. We won the division. We won the conference. What? How did we win? How did we win the conference on 98 points? How weak was the West? That is absolutely insane. How weak was the West that we were able to win the conference on 98 points? And you're right, Vegas did get back into it, unfortunately. But still, it's a lottery pick. It's a lottery pick. I'll take it. So let's see. We, Vancouver and San Jose, have made the playoffs out of the Pacific. In the Central, it's Nashville, Winnipeg, Chicago, Colorado, and St. Louis. In the Atlantic, we have Toronto, Tampa, Florida. Metro is Columbus, Carolina, the Islanders, Penguins, and Flyers. So the worst team in the league. Looks like the Ducks didn't need to be saved. Apparently not. Best team in the league is Columbus. Worst team in the league, Ottawa, Los Angeles, New Jersey, Detroit, and Boston. We finished 6th in the NHL. And we're the top team in the West by 1 point over Nashville. Yeah, we might not have had to have been. We might not have had to have done this series. We might not have had to have been called upon to save Anaheim. They look fine, according to EA. It's just clearly coaching. Ugh. As the voice continues to be weak tonight. I don't know what's going on. Worst teams in the league were 77 points. How? Well, you know. Getzlaf and Kreider, 64 points each. Raquel with 50. Perry with 50. Corey Perry, 26 goals, too. 50 points for Kasha. Henrique Sprong had 40 points on the third line. Shore hit 30. Richie with 28. Comtois 25. Jones, Kessler, and Terry, all at least near 20. Kessler had 19 points in 63 games. He had a pretty damn good setup. As Adesanya and Silva ends up going to a decision, unfortunately. Defensively, Lindholm had an amazing season, 48 points, 33 points for Montour. Fowler and Manson both did well. Lindholm and Manson's a hell of a combination. Goaltending-wise, I don't know if that's Vezina caliber, but a 926 for Gibson. Kincaid was awful as a backup. Let's take a look around the league here. So the leading scorer. Whew. Brock Besser and Elias Pettersson. Wow. Sagan was also up there. McKinnon, Ben, Ovechkin. McDavid was up there. Damn. Goal scorer was Besser. He also had Sagan, Ovechkin, Skinner, and Kane all above 40. Tarasenko and McDavid at 40 each. King had to have been Pettersson. Yeah, it was. That is insane. That is absolutely insane. Defensively, Brent Burns led the way. Hedman, Carlson, Yossi, Hot Sam Bacha, Dumba, Ekman Larson, Shattenkirk, and Subban. Goalies, let's see. Leonard tied for the league lead in wins with Gibson and Anderson. Save percentage, Henrik Lundqvist may have just won a Vezina. It's going to be close. It might go to Leonard. And an outside shout for Bobrovsky. Gibson had a good season, but not good enough. It's nice to not see a ton of goalies with a 930 plus save percentage. And for the Rooks, Philip Zadina is going to win the Calder. Jack Hughes finished second in scoring. 60 points in his rookie year. 83 overall. Capo Caco was also up there. And Carter Verhaeghe, 24. I feel like Carter Verhaeghe is much, much older than that. But, you know, just because that's a name that's been around for a long, long time. So let's get that confirmation. I mean, we know who we're playing in the playoffs, but it is going to be the St. Louis Blues in round 1. Let's get that confirmation. There it is. Home ice advantage. So we play St. Louis, Nashville plays Colorado, Vancouver, San Jose, Winnipeg, Chicago. In the East, it's Toronto, Pittsburgh, Columbus, and Philly, Carolina, and the Islanders, Tampa, and Florida. Because that's still just weird that they have a team in Florida called, you know, by the city name, but then another one's just the Florida Panthers. The Massachusetts Bruins. The Massachusetts Bruins. Let's take a look at the Blues, shall we? As, again, I think the lineup is going to be the same. There are a couple of things we could potentially change. Daniel Sprong's now listed as a second line forward, which is nuts. There are a couple of things we could change. But I think we keep the team the same for the moment. If we struggle, someone like Sam Steele could be deserving of the call-up. He's up to a third-line player at this point. So I think we're all good. I think we're all good. I said that weird. It's okay. I'm a little bit off tonight. It's fine. We'll be fine. Everything will be fine. Right? It'll be cool. Let's look at St. Louis. Let's see what we're dealing with. See what we're dealing with. It is Jaden Schwartz, Ryan O'Reilly, and Tarasenko still. There are basically no changes to their lineup aside from DSP. But Sammy Blaze there, Sanford, Thomas, and Barbashev. Defensively, it is Parayko, Pietrangelo, Dunn, Edmondson, Bortuzzo, and Schmaltz. So that top four is pretty damn good. The goaler, it's Jake Allen still. In 83, Ville Husso is the backup. Daly, Kyrou, and Wallman as the healthy scratches. It's the team you would expect. Trying to start up a Calgary franchise and my game keeps crashing. That is probably not a good sign. It's probably not a good sign. We won the West in the regular season. Can we win the West in the playoffs? Let's get into this. I want to see what happens. I want to see what happens here. Is the addition of Kreider enough to put this team over the edge? First period of Game 1. St. Louis with the early lead. Steen scores. Kreider also scores. Jaden Schwartz restores the lead. Second period. And we have a tie ball game. Nick Ritchie. It's 2-all. And then Robbie Fabry scores immediately. So, you know, screw your drama. No, let's just have a quick goal in the third period. Pretty much eliminate all doubt of how this one's going to go. Right? Right. Yeah, we're probably screwed here. Is there a late goal on the horizon? There is, but it's for St. Louis. Vince Dunn scores. And the Blues are going to take Game 1. How'd the first year go? We made it to the second round and got swept by San Jose, if I'm not mistaken. We end up dropping Game 1 to the Blues. 2 points for Steen, a goal for Ritchie, but Jake Allen... I was not prepared to say this. Jake Allen was the difference maker, and we didn't exactly see a great performance out of one John Gibson. Let's see what happens here in Game 2. No lineup changes. We'll be okay. We got this. We got this. First period is scoreless. They nearly had us doubled up in shots. Second period, not scoreless. Another 2-1 lead for the Blues. Corey Perry gets the opening goal. Pietrangelo and Robert Thomas get the lead for the Blues. We go to the third. Alex Steen scores, and I can't help but think we're in a lot of trouble. Can't help but have that assumption. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. It's looking worse. Let's just send the end of it. 4-1 is your final. John Gibson has disappeared for the playoffs. 3-point night for Pietrangelo. When John Gibson gets outdueled by Jake Allen, that's how you know. Even if you manage to win the goddamn conference, that's how you know the funny business is upon you. So what we're going to do is make a desperate lineup change, because there's not much else that can be done. We are going to make a... I don't even know what desperate lineup change we could do. We're pretty much committed to this roster. Screw it. Let's just march on to the gallows we go, because this season it's not going to last much longer. Game 3. I tempted fate by buying at the deadline, clearly. We didn't give up much, but still. First period of Game 3 here in St. Louis. It's a goal apiece. Ricard Raquel and Devontae Smith-Pelly. Second period, we have the lone goal. It's Adam Henrique. To the third we go. To the third we go. I'm so tempted to tempt fate and walk away to blow my nose after Ninja mentioned 2BC, because, you know, in honor of the man himself. We have 9 minutes left. Can we hold on? Overtime. Didn't want to say anything. Didn't want to jinx it. We go to overtime. 2 goals for DSP. Let's do this. I'm not even going to predict the winner. Corey Perry and Barbashev. Why not? We are approaching halfway mark. Power play is wasted. Power play is wasted. Is it double overtime? Yes, it is. You know how this works. 5 seconds or less, or your money back. I'm going with Perry or Barbashev. Here we go. Double overtime! It's Ricard Raquel. I got the first line right. That ended quite quickly. The Ducks are back in the series. The home team has yet to win. 2-goal night for Ricard Raquel. Gibson with 37 saves. 2-goal night for DSP, but it was not enough. The Ducks are back in it. Hampus Lindholm, 4 points in 3 games. What a guy. What a guy. So what we're going to do here, for the lovely world, the lovely world of Game 4. Let's call it that. Let's label it that way. So we're going to jump into the sim. We're going to speed sim the first 2 periods. First period, scoreless. Second period, very much not scoreless. Thomas, Jen, and Fabry. Richie gets one back. Is there a comeback on the cards? I don't know. Jesus Christ, look where Gibson gave up the goals for him. I desperately have to go blow my nose. Enjoy the third period. I'll be right back. I'm gonna guess that we lost. I'm gonna guess that we lost. Oh yeah, we lost. Well, it is 3-1 in this series. And, you know, I can't help but think. I cannot help but think. Hope you didn't give up your first round pick. We didn't, thank God. We have 2 first round picks. But I did give up a second and third round pick along with a medium top 9 forward prospect to bring in Chris Kreider, which might have been a mistake. But it was worth double checking. It was worth double checking to see if the EA Sim engine would have allowed us to add someone like Kreider and still win. But, in fairness, that might have tipped the scales too much into our favor, and I know a thing or two about tipping scales. That might have tipped the scales too much into, oh, you're actually a good team now, so you lose. It is Game 5. Back in Anaheim. Win or we are out. Just watched my moves come from behind against Texas tonight. Nice. James Neal just lost like 5 of his teeth. That's not good. That's not good. First period of Game 5. Speaking of not good, we're about to be done for. St. Louis gets the opening goal. Pietrangelo scores. See if Rangers will take him back. Expiring deal. So, can't lose Game 7 if you don't make it to Game 7. Fair point. Second period is scoreless. Can we solve the riddle? The nearly unsolvable riddle known as Jake Allen. Let's find out. It's not looking too good. If you can't get 1 goal on Jake Allen, you don't deserve this. Power play. You're going to get shut out by Jake Allen? Imagine getting shut out by Jake Allen. Unfortunately, the good Jake Allen showed up, and we have been eliminated. In just 5 games. That is what I expected. That is what I expected. The fact that we've made the playoffs 2 years running and that happened. Sell. That's probably the plan. Don't you think? It is very Anaheim of us, though, to have bought at the deadline when we probably shouldn't. You know? I mean, in fairness, Kreider had 2 points. He was pretty bad. It doesn't help that our bottom 6... I mean, nobody really did anything. I can't imagine Gibson had a good save percentage. He did not. John Gibson with a 9-10. Very disappointed. Our key to success faltered in the playoffs. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Time to sell and relocate, right? Tags, what's going on? How did Kreider come about? Second and third round pick and a medium top 9 forward prospect at this year's deadline. Think MLB draft the glorious hard try out of the park. Don't have time to play out of the park. I own out of the park and I've never played it. I just don't have time. I just don't have time. I've talked about that a lot recently. There are far too many things that people want me to play. Play NHL, play MLB, the FIFA, NBA, Madden, FHM, out of the park baseball, football manager, old school games like 2K10. There's too much. As the Blackhawks win the cup in year 2, how even? Oh boy, it's funny because, and I quote, yeah, that was a pretty realistic sim IMO. And then we get to who wins the cup, and that opinion might have changed. That opinion might have changed. Chicago wins the cup in year 2, beating the Flyers in 6 games. That's hilarious. Philly ended up beating Columbus in 6, the Islanders in 6, Tampa in 7 to get there. Chicago beat Winnipeg in 7, Nashville in 6, and San Jose in 5. The Calder Cup went to the Colorado Eagles. Beat Lehigh Valley in 6 games. So Philly could have had the double. They very much did not have the double. Just drink Monster Energy and stay up all the time. Problem solved, right? I don't need to drink Monster. I'm up all the time anyway. Unfortunately. Oh, boy. So, Corey Crawford must have gone off. He did. Wow, Nilsson. Good job. 2 goals on 5 shots. Nice. The defense. Keith did pretty well. Gustafsson. Forward-wise, I mean, DeBrincat, Kane, Strome, Saad, Taves, they all just went off. That's nuts. Aiden, what's going on? I just sat in front of a computer and played video games all day. Not quite. For a decent amount of the day, but not quite. Meant to go to the awards. Damn it. At least we saw how Chicago won the cup, and it was with their same team. So Toronto won in Season 1. Blackhawks in Season 2. Blue Jackets won the Presidents. Didn't even help them get out of the first round, I believe. Brock Besser wins the Art Ross and the Hart. Burns wins the Norris. Lady Bing to Sagan. Calder to Philip Zadina. Conn Smythe to Corey Crawford. The Vezina to Robin Leonard, as well as the Jennings. Masterton goes to Kulikov. Selke to Patrice Bergeron. Brock Besser to Ted Lindsay. And the Rocket Richard. Brock Besser. Hell of a year. Oliver Wahlstrom put up the most points and was league MVP in the AHL. Also scored the most goals and was the best rookie. TJ Brennan was the best defenseman. Best goaltender was Kyle Kaiser, which he ended up in Grand Rapids, which really depresses me. And Tom Forsberg was the MVP of the playoffs. Damn. Damn, YouTuber by day, streamer by night, right? Only reason I watch Set Plans for the Rage. Again, calling out the game for its nonsense is not what I would define as rage. But different strokes for different folks, different opinions, I guess. I don't know. Tampa ends up getting the #1 pick, and Vegas really let us down. We end up with the 12th pick. Still, we ended up with the 12th pick in exchange for Silfverberg, so I guess I'm okay with that. Also, Ottawa traded a pick and ended up winning the lottery, but not having their pick. Sounds about right. So that Vegas pick looked like it could have been pretty damn good. Ended up not being that, unfortunately. Let's see. Marion Gaborik calls it a career. I'm going to look at goalies first. Niemi and Backup Aney. Best defensemen's. That's good. When Cam Barker retires and has the most points among any defenseman. Gaborik, Matt Molson. Not that many players retired in year 2. Not at all. Matt Molson became a scout. Editing the trade block isn't all that important. To the draft we go. Whatever, it's still hilarious. Oh, I agree, it's hilarious. That's why I still play a set plan. It doesn't get old watching the AI. Or, the AI and just the the inconsistent penalty logic when you play any Huck games. It doesn't get old watching it just be an absolute shit show. So this is rough. I kind of want to make the AI play the stupid tax. Pay the stupid tax for Villalta and Scott, but I'm going to keep them. Defensively, it's not a whole hell of a lot we can do. We do have to re-sign Montour, but we're going to have the cap for it, no problem. Aside from that, we're fine. And then forward-wise, I mean, trading Getzlaf's not going to happen. Kreider has an expiring deal. There's not really a lot we can do. Like, I don't want to trade Getzlaf. I'm not going to trade Henrique, at least not for a bit. And then Corey Perry, I mean, he's staying too. There's not a whole hell of a lot we can change about this. The Kessler deal is practically unmovable. And we're pretty much good to go. Thank God the Patrick Eaves contract is up. I think we're good. AI shot block isn't a defensive action. I know why that happened too, and it's because it was like the shot was going to be blocked anyway. That wasn't my complaint. It's that the AI still did the animation. I think some people thought like, oh, who cares? It was going to be blocked anyway, rightfully so, by the human player. It is what it is. I don't even want to talk about a set plan. Our team is fine. We could look to trade up with Tampa. That is a possibility. Oh, God, it's the Lafreniere draft. Tampa, you want to trade? Please? Holy shit. All right, well, hold on a second. Hold your horses. How close is that? Shit, I want Lafreniere. I want this to happen. Who matches the block for you? Oh, God, none of those players really help because I'm not getting rid of Antoine Morand. Oh, God. Oh, God. Of course, we signed Joseph. Do you want Timmins? He has value. Maybe. I'm going to run out of time. I am going to run out of time because I can't find the perfect player to tack onto this deal. Alright, what about Little? What about Little? Is that enough? No, it's not. Damn it. There's no way it's going to happen in time. I didn't even remember that it was the Lafreniere draft. What about McCullough? Please? Damn it. I'm not trading Raquel. Get out of here. And I'll also add in Timmins. All of the low elites. I didn't think that was going to work. So we just gave up our 2 first-round picks and 3 low elite prospects. I might regret that. I might regret that. Timeout. What do you mean call a timeout? It wasn't our pick. That wouldn't have done anything. We're not even allowed to do it. 2 first-round picks. 3 low elite prospects. 2 forwards and a defenseman. I might regret giving up those low elites because of how good low elite potential is this year. But on the flip side, we're going to be allowed to draft Alexis Lafreniere now. So, fair trade. Fair trade. Not that I'm sure computer-generated Rudolph Gerber isn't amazing. He's actually better than Lafreniere in terms of overall. And then, of course, guys like Lundell, Delamont, and Gunler are all great. But yeah, let's go ahead and take Lafreniere. 82 high elite. That's good, right? That's good, right? I didn't even plan on doing that, and then someone said, "Hey, trade up." And it's like, all right, cool. We'll explore that venture. Oh, it's the Lafreniere draft. If Tampa didn't want to trade that pick, it wouldn't have happened. There's no way that would have happened if they didn't want to move that pick. We wouldn't have been able to afford it. The problem now is that might not have been the best move, and I will tell you why. We don't have a ton of draft pick depth in the top 2 rounds now. We're really going to have to hit in the 4th and 5th round, much like we did last year with those low elites. So let's see how the rest of this draft goes. There is a lot of pressure after trading up to get Lafreniere to make things happen here in the middle rounds. Gerber went to Boston, Gunler to Minnesota, Delamont, Lundell to New Jersey, Perfetti to Detroit, Simon Taval to Edmonton, Quentin Byfield to Buffalo, Marco Rossi to Dallas, Alex Holtz to Montreal, Drysdale to Tampa. So we would have ended up getting like a Drysdale, a Connor McClellan, a Lucas Raymond. I believe that's Dylan Peterson, Theo Rocher, Cole Stillinger. So that was probably the right move. Now the pressure's on. Make things happen in the 4th like Belichick. That's the plan. That is the plan. Unfortunately, I don't trust that gem. Not with that potential. I don't trust you. Not one bit. Santa Fiore, I can't trust that you're not a low. I don't really trust low 6, low 4. Not a big fan of it. Not a big fan of it at all. Garand is real. I think he has fringe potential. I think that's what I gave him, based off of his projections. I can't remember, out of these Finnish guys, who's real and who's not. And like I said, I hate low top 4, low top 6. Very rarely do they develop. Oscar Sonnenberg, I don't know if I can trade. He's 19. There's no way he's computer generated. Who is the first guy that we can find? Cyrus Armsden? Well, maybe not, because he's 19 and he's computer generated. He might be worth the risk. Finland isn't real. Fair point. Neither is Australia, after all, right? Medium top forward, Nelson Wisniewski. He's 19, but he's the one kind of safe bet right now. He's the only safe bet right now. The rest would be a little bit of a risk. And then there's the Frenchman, Justin Rowe, who we could get later on. And then Trenton Higgins would also be a risk. And then there's a confirmed low elite Romanian, Rod Fisher. Isaac Hansen, the starter. And a confirmed medium elite goalie, Zbruev. Okay. We're looking alright. So, in terms of the highest projections, I can go for Sonnenberg, but I'm not going to risk it. Armsden, he has to be low elite with that shooting category, right? He has to be. When's our next pick after this? I know I'm low on time, don't worry. Alright, we don't have another pick in the third round, but I'm pretty sure we have at least a couple of picks in the fourth. I'm gonna go with Armsden, and we're gonna hope for the best. The American Cyrus Armsden. Yeah, that worked out. You know, they don't call me the Belichick of NHL for nothing. Whew. In the third round. In the third round. They don't call me the Belichick of NHL for nothing. Jesus. Make things happen. Make things happen we did. Make things happen we did. Cyrus Armsden. He's 19, but he's a 70 already. Medium elite is a third round pick. By George, I've done it again. Literally nobody calls you that. Better than anybody who would have gotten a 12. That's true, actually. That is true. I still like our pick more, but with hindsight, might have been worth it to take the risk on Sonnenberg. I'm still quite happy with my pick because he's a 70 and he's already good to go. And there is no way to have known that Sonnenberg was going to be medium franchise. Medium elite, maybe. But there was also the other confirmed medium elite goalie. That's why I took Armsden. There was no way to know Sonnenberg was going to be that good. And there is, of course, still that medium elite goalie waiting for us. And we managed to get a medium elite forward. So I don't regret that at all. But yeah, that does kind of sting a little bit to see a franchise goalie go immediately after. Even if he would have really only been great for the sake of trade bait. But yeah, I mean, I was going to go for that goalie. Or I was going to go for Armsden. And I absolutely made the right choice because I can still get a great goalie regardless. And if I missed out on Armsden and that goalie wasn't as good as he looks to have been, you know, and that goalie wasn't franchise, basically, I would have been very upset. We have 2 of the next 3 picks. So we have the ability to do a little bit of damage. Let's see what we can do. It's going to be Wisniewski. Again, we can get this Ukrainian later. Is elite still worse than franchise? Yes. I think I'm going to go for Wisniewski. Maybe. Would I rather have a medium 6'4"? I'm going to take the low next. We're taking Rod Fisher. It's just, do I take Wisniewski or do I take Rowe? And both are projects. Wisniewski's a year older. I'm absolutely going to take Rod Fisher, though, as a low elite. And then Zbruev we should be able to take at the start of the 5th round. Hopefully. Might have to take him now. Oh, yeah. Okay. Alright, I think I know. Sonnenberg had D for many of his stats. Yeah, they weren't confirmed at all, so. Alright, I know who I'm going for here. We're going to take Fisher, and we're going to take that goalie, just to make sure we get him. So Rod Fisher, the Romanian, is low elite, 49 overall. That's going to take him forever to develop if he ever does. At the very least, he could be good trade bait, like the players we just used to trade up to get Lafreniere. And when it comes to this goalie, the Ukrainian, Viktor Zbruev, the 19-year-old. How good are you? 51 medium elite, so also good for trade value. I think I'd rather have Armsden and Zbruev than to have ended up with the franchise goalie and a Wisniewski. So I'm good with that. I am good with that. We go to the 5th round. We have yet to select anybody under a low elite. We have a high elite, 2 medium elites, and a low elite. Amazing. Jake and Smallwood. We took him when we were in Edmonton. Still are in Edmonton. Hello. Well, Jake, and I'm sorry, buddy, but you might be overruled on this one. You might be outclassed. Oh my god. Okay. Low elite central. Low elite central. It's not even worth selecting anybody who isn't... Unless someone's confirmed higher than low elite, those are the picks. Yeah, there they are. And then there's CMEC at the end of the draft. Well, that's fairly straightforward. So Shovel Dave's 19, so we'll probably just take the 2 18-year-olds, Henrik Forsstrom and Hayden Baker. When is our next pick after this? We don't have another pick this round, so we'll take whoever's listed as the best. He might, or one of them might still be available, depending on how dumb the AI tends to be. If I take Forsstrom first, Baker should still be there. Yeah, I'm going to take Henrik Forsstrom first. The Swede, because Swedes never disappoint me in franchise. Low Elite 51. Not bad. And I think our other dude's still available here. Just AI bullshit prevention and trade for picks for them, all of them. No, I'm going to be fair. I'm not going to trade up. I don't have to. We'll also take the American Hayden Baker. Unless the game doesn't register a button press. There we go. Hayden Baker is a 48. So we have not taken anybody lower than a low elite. Because what the hell? It's the year 2 draft and it's just the AI's like, here, have everybody. So cool. Let's see who is still left. We have a couple of low elites left. So there is Jan Semek, who we could take the risk on. How many picks do we have left? Okay, we have another pick coming up. And I know we have picks in the 7th. I think. Yeah, there's one, and we should have at least one other. Right? Yes, we do. Ooh, 3 picks in the 7th. Okay. Again, this is going to be dumb good for a 1,000th ranked. It needs to be picked. I mean, me thinks you just want me to pick him because his name's Aginla, which is very, very reasonable. Very reasonable. There's Charles Aginla, Junior Fallon, and then Jan Semek. Let's go ahead and take Fallon first, obviously. He is... What? Medium 7th? That's a sharp drop-off. Holy hell. I know he wasn't... Wait, was he confirmed a low elite? If he wasn't confirmed a low elite, he was like a step away from being confirmed a low elite, and he dropped to medium 7th. I feel like I just got bamboozled. He had the same rating as the other guy. Hold on. They weren't confirmed. No, he was a confirmed low elite. He was a confirmed low elite, but he ended up being a medium 7th. I've been bamboozled. Excuse me? Can somebody clip that? I'm pretty sure he was a confirmed low elite who ended up being medium 7th. Can somebody clip that for me? Actually, I think I have the ability to do so. I'm gonna hit the clip button. We'll see what happens. That is so weird. So I'm gonna take CMEC here, and then we'll take a Ginla in the 7th round. I'm 99% sure he was a confirmed low elite who ended up being medium 7th. I think I found a way to break the game. And CMEC ended up being a backup, which is fine. I mean, we're botching it in the 6th round and onwards, so that's fine. But I think we just saw a confirmed low elite be a medium 7th. That is so weird. That is so weird. I mean, I'm going to take a Ginla with my final pick. I have 3 picks this round. So let's see. We have a medium starter in Jeff Cohen. Confirmed low 4. Let's take either Hakkarainen or Prokhorkin. Actually, we're going to end up with all 3, I think. So let's take Hakkarainen. It's a glitch where if a player's past 300, it's low elite and drops off. That's right. You're right. I keep forgetting about that. But he wasn't projected beyond 300, though. If I'm not mistaken, he wasn't projected below 300, which is why I wasn't expecting it. I'm pretty sure he wasn't projected below 300. I think he was 230. Like Ninja just pointed out, too. Like, so Iginla, I totally expect him to be shit. Even Prokhorkin, I expect him to be pretty bad. I'm going to take Iginla here. Now, if that guy wasn't low elite, but Iginla ends up being low elite, I'm lost. Yeah, so he ends up being low AHL top 6. So that makes sense, right? That's expected. People have talked about that. It's fairly well known. But the other one, I'm pretty sure, and I might be remembering incorrectly, but I'm pretty sure he was confirmed low elite and not above 300. That was so weird. I'm going to take Jeff Cohen, sorry Jack, just to get somebody half decent. You weren't above 300 either. You were at like 258, and you dropped from confirmed medium starter to medium fringe? What is going on right now? Those are 2 players not above 300, both who were confirmed potentials and ended up dropping. Gotta throw a curveball towards the Belichick of NHL franchises way, do you? It's like, oh, he found a medium elite 70 overall in the 3rd round. We'll show him. We'll show him. You did. At the top of the draft go. So we had 2 first-round picks, thanks to Vegas giving us a first-round pick this year in exchange for Jakob Silfverberg last year. We then traded up with Tampa. We used those 2 first-round picks, 2 low elite forwards, and a low elite defenseman. We traded up to draft Alexis Lafreniere. Armston's a medium elite 70 overall. We picked up in the 3rd round. From Fisher to Baker, all of them were low elites. And then it really dropped off after Fallon. I'm going to have to watch this back. And I'm pretty sure we just had 2 confirmed potentials, not in the usual glitch range that sees their potential drop off, actually have their potentials drop off. Super weird. Super weird. It is what it is. I'm not too upset. I mean, we still had an amazing draft. Again, I never planned on trading up this year. My thought process was, okay, we'll get 2 decent prospects. And then it was suggested to trade up. And it's like, all right, well, if Tampa wants to make a deal, then we will. And surprise, surprise, they did, considering that wasn't even their draft pick. So, let's go ahead and see what the re-sign phase has to offer us here. He was 238. Well, no, he actually garbage. Well, I'm certainly confused about it as well. Keith Kincaid was terrible this year. We're going to drop him. We're going to drop Boyle as well. Lucas Dostal will be signed as Angus Redmond is going to be dropped. So we'll sign Dostal and then probably bring in a backup goalie, which means I might end up trading somebody. We're going to have 3 fringe starters here. We'll see what happens. And then defensively, both Montour and Larson are RFAs. We are going to drop Patrick Nemeth. Did I lose somebody to retirement? What happened to Joe Morrow? Oh, wow, he just dropped off big time. Okay. So Nemeth is going to be dropped. Hunter Drew, medium 7th, a 76 at 21. I might sign him. Kincaid is terrible this year. Like everybody, no, he's good because he's better than Schneider, which means he's good. It doesn't. Brad Hunt is gone. Joe Morrow is gone. Roman Polak is gone. Nate Prosser is gone. So I'm going to sign Hunter Drew just to see what happens with him. We need to re-sign Larson and Montour. I'm going to save them for last. Burrow, buddy, the 5 month. What's going on, man? What's going on? I miss being able to send you the host for franchise-related stuff. What's going on? I've drafted a lot of under 300 confirmed elites that haven't dropped for me. Never heard of that glitch before. It's been fairly well known lately. Look at that beautiful emote spam. Look at that beautiful emote spam. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Who else do we have? So Patrick Eves is gone. Kiefer, I'm not sure yet. Sprong, Sherwood, Terrier, all RFAs. Riley Barber, for sure, is going to be dropped. He was just an AHL signing for the season. So we'll go ahead and drop him. We have a lot of players that we need to make a decision on here, actually. Right. So Sprong, Sherwood, Terry, Cedaroff. Perbix would be a UFA. Keith, Aginla, Forstrom won't be signed. Oh, actually, yeah, Perbix was the UFA. Left wings, Kreider. Of course, we got to sign Lafreniere. Giovanni Fiore is going to be dropped. Brett McLaughlin could be signed. Nobody else there. My Elgato crapped out. That would explain it, and that sucks. I am sorry to hear that. Get the money for the barber. God damn it, Dunham. We're not playing Mafia yet. We got Shore, Henry, who was our pick last year. In the second round, he needs to be signed. Chase DeLeo is an RFA. He's going to be dropped. Obviously, we wouldn't get anything for him. Alex Dosty, Jack Badini. We ended up drafting Brett Leeson as well. Armsden, Benoit Olivier Giroux. We have 15 million bucks to work with. Montour is looking for 4.5 a season. I might be able to drop that down. I'm just tempted to maybe give up a couple of our players through offer sheets. And Montour would be the big one. I can't imagine Larson's looking for that much money. Yeah, he's not. 2 years at 1.375. Love the lighting in the background. Thank you. It was kind of the last thing I had to do. They are Ducks colors, believe them or not. Believe it or not, the purple is a little bit. It looks a little bit light, but we had to run old school Ducks colors. But it was the last thing I pretty much had to do. I'm pretty happy with it. Not to mention, there's also a couple of other options with these that are quite cool. You know, for example, we have this option. Because it's always a great option. No, it stopped. Why'd you stop the party? I'm still trying to figure out what I'm doing with this. Hold on. Start the party. There you go. Now you're continuing. Nope, you stopped again. Why'd you stop? You can't stop the party. You can't stop the dance party. What is this? Hold on. Hold on. You can't stop the dance party like that. You can't stop it. The hell is that? Start the party, damn it, and keep it going. Please. Start the party. It won't do it. No. It's because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Please? It starts and then stops. And I don't know why. I got it to work last night. Holy shit, there we go. Hold on. There it is. Now we're partying. Fuck. Got it now. Jacking off two dicks at the same time. It stopped again. Damn it. Why'd you stop? Hey, it's back again. Alright. I still gotta figure that little part out of, like there's a couple of different things. I feel like Chris Jericho right now. Oh, the lights are the best. Oh, boy. Alright. Well, you got the point. You got the point. We'll just go ahead and delete that. Go ahead and get our Anaheim colors back. There we go. Oh, boy. Alright. So, yeah, we have fun here. You can't give me something stupid like that. Something stupid like these lights. And not have me do absolutely nothing with them. People on YouTube will be so confused. Probably. Probably. But that's what they deserve. For not being a weird person with a weird schedule that can actually watch this live. What do you think the Bruins are going to do with the deadline? Probably overpay to pick up a couple of Rangers again. In fairness, though, you know what? Really quickly, quick segue, right? Quick segue. Hold on a second. Let's go to lovely gmtradetracker.com. You know, one of my favorite sites ever. Let's go to Trade Tracker. The fine world of Trade Tracker. This will be a nice segue for everybody, right? We go to Don Sweeney. Now, these trades last year. Nick Holden for Rob O'Gara and a third. Is that an overpayment? We don't really know yet. But people are like, oh my God, the Bruins got fleeced. Not quite. The Spooner, Bolesky, Lindgren for the 1st and the 7th. It's been an okay deal for the Rangers. Rick Nash played pretty well. Injury trouble came up. Is that a fleecing, though? Really only if these parts work out. Because the Bruins did get rid of Bolesky and Spooner. You know, when You remember when that trade first went down and then Spooner got on a hot streak and everyone's like, my God, we fleeced the Bruins. Holy shit, you're so dumb to have given up this guy. There's no way he's going to cool down, and this isn't just another one of the hot streaks that Ryan Spooner goes on. No, fleecing. Yeah, so much for that. And then, of course, there was the McQuaid trade, which, as a Bruins fan, I hate because I love Adam McQuaid, but it made all the sense in the world. So, you know, odds are the Bruins will do more deals with the Rangers this year. At least one, I would assume. But I do love last year that people are like, my God, the Bruins got fleeced by the Rangers. Yeah, no. They didn't. I'm not saying that the Rangers got fleeced either, but people love so much to jump so quickly at this team won the trade, and it's just, you gotta give it time. See the blockbuster of a deal Philly pulled off? I did. Is Boston New York's trash can? Not quite. I feel like they should go after Mark Stone. If the Bruins get Mark Stone, these lights will never turn off. If the Bruins get Mark Stone, these lights go on full time. All right? These lights go on full time. Bruins get Mark Stone, it's this all the time. I can't get them to go again. Damn it! But I want them to work. Please? Please work. If the Bruins win the Mark Stone sweepstakes, these lights stay on forever. It'll be a never-ending party. It won't be because it kind of hurts my eyes a little bit. But, you know, hey, there we go. Back to Anaheim mode. Anyway, Jacob Larson, what's going on? We got a little bit sidetracked. I need to try and save a little bit of money with you, sir, because we're a little bit up against the cap. I'm going to drop you down to 1.2 over 2 years. Hopefully that sounds good. Montour, we'll see. And then for defense, we're fine. Stone isn't the captain of the Bruins when he gets here. We riot. No, we don't, actually. That, once Char is gone, it goes to Bergeron for life. Speaking of Bergeron, Bergie, what's up, man? Have a feeling the Bruins go for Simmons? I mean, if you're Philadelphia, why the hell do you give up Simmons right now? You could say that he's not, the most crucial part of the team, but still. What do the Bruins give up for Stone? First round pick, second round pick, and then you'd have to give up guys like Donato, JFK, I mean, Zaboral, you'd be giving Frederick maybe, like, it would be fucking expensive. Krug's been garbage lately. I'd still rather have Torrey Krug, the most defenseman in the league, though. And you gotta think of how many defensemen in the league, so saying most isn't being like, he's top 10. But, you know. Alright, so Montour we're gonna come back to. Right wings, how much is Sprong looking for? Oh, Daniel, buddy, I really like you, but that might be too much. Kiefer's not going to get much better than he is now. He's technically listed as a depth forward. He might be a decent third-line point getter as a playmaker. But I think I'd still rather have the third line be guys who are potentially going to graduate up. I don't know. Troy Terry's coming back, though. And I'm going to drop Troy down. 1 by 1 works for me. Devin Cedaroff's a medium 9, 75 at 23. Donato Lozon, another prospect. It would be expensive. That's all I'll say. It would be expensive. Do I want to develop medium 9s, I guess is the thought here. I probably do. Let's bring in Devin Cedaroff. Probably only going 1 year. He wants a one-way deal. You're insane. You are insane if you want a one-way deal. That's not going to happen. You're not good enough for the bottom 6. You get a 1-year deal at league min. It's the only way you're getting it. We'll sign Jack Perbix. Why not? Give him his ELC. And again, for Sherwood and Sprong, we'll come back. Left wings, Kreider's probably gone. We need to sign Lafreniere to his ELC. McLaughlin will be signed. Let's see, who else? Who else? Center, Devin Shore. Henry is American. We need to sign him as well. And he's at the very least a great AHL for us. Alex Dosty. Alex Dosty can be signed for the same deal as Cedaroff. How do you remove a player's rights? When you're in player movement, go to an AHL team, assign them to the AHL team, hit free agency. And then they'll be stripped of any rights that they had. Phrasing, I guess. Jack Bedini. I think I'm going to sign you too, just because your name's Jack Bedini. And then Guru, I'm going to sign him too, I guess. I hate low top 6, but I'll stay loyal to him. And it'd be better. It would be better than just signing random free agents. I literally already sent the offer to Lafreniere. You guys got to pay attention. Larson signs. Dosty signs. Cedaroff, Troy Terry, Perbix, Hunter Drew, Guru, Lafreniere, McLaughlin, Bedini, Dostal, Henry. I booked the NHL trade deadline off from work. That's what I used. I would have never skipped school for the NHL trade deadline. Never. Never. Spooner was traded in the package with the Reds to the Rangers last year. Indeed he was. Indeed he was. As we discussed a few moments ago. Alright, so we have $15 million in cap space right now. It went up. 11 contract spots. We still have to sign Montour. We still have to sign Sprong, potentially Sherwood, and Kreider. And Shore. Shit. Alright. How are we going to do this? The problem with Montour and Sprong is that we could get compensation for them, even though I don't really want to lose them. Kreider was supposed to be a pure rental. How much is Devin Shore looking for? 1.8. That's not bad. So, I'm tempted to bring back Sherwood just to see how good he is. At the very least, he could bump up the AHL. So, Sherwood is very inexpensive. I'll bring him back for 1 year. Shore was looking for about 1.5. Sprong wants 4. We might be able to sign everybody here. We might be able to sign everybody here. Shoot franchise mode with legends, and I would have to create said legends, and that's a massive pain in the ass after I've already created 150 plus players. So, yeah. Oh, you haven't even created that much. Snipe of scores created 600. I love Snipe, but he also doesn't balance streaming videos nearly every day, work, like, you know. I mean, he does balance making videos, you get the point, though. And I just don't have the fucking patience for it. Brooks, thank you for the follow. Probably butchering that, but thank you. Sure, at 1.85. 1 year, I could drop that down to 1.6. So Shore's at 1.6. Sprong, we could drop you down to 3.525. So that's only 5 mil. We could absolutely sign everybody here. And we will. Because why lose somebody for free? I mean, with Kreider, maybe not. But, you know, we'll see. It depends on what free agency is looking like. How do we get Lafreniere? Traded 2 first-round picks because we had an extra thanks to Vegas and a couple of low elite prospects who I'm probably going to regret giving up. So if Shore accepts 1.6, I'll bring him back for a year. I'm not afraid to trade him with the year deal. Daniel Sprong, I do really want to bring back. We could get a decent amount of compensation for him. Nothing Puljujarvi levels, but still. We'll see if he'll accept 3.525 over 4 years. Montour is looking for 4.5 over 6 years. And we'll drop that down to 3.825. That's the minimum it could go to with the 85%. And we'll wait for Kreider. Who's going to win the cup? Don't be biased. Why do you assume I'd be biased? I said at the beginning of the year, Tampa, did I not? And I kind of stand by that. Montour rejects, Shore rejects, Sprong rejects, Sherwood accepts. Okay. 85% trick failing us here as it normally does. We got 15 million bucks even. So again, Shore. Oh, what can we knock that down to? I forget. 1.6. All right, what about 1.75? Let me save a little bit of money. Daniel Sprong, which this game had the trade deadline like in the old games with the phone. Don't we all? An actual trade deadline day would be amazing. Even something like what FIFA has, where it's like, hey, you got 10 hours to make deals, see what you can do. I'm going to get Sprong hopefully at 3.75, just to save a little bit of money. And Montour might just go down to 4 even. Yeah, let's go down to 4/6, which would be a steal. And then again, we're still going to wait for Kreider. Might not be the smartest move to re-sign him, just depending on what free agents would be available. Let's see. Montour rejects, Shore and Sprong both sign. So Montour's being a little bit problematic. We have $11 million in space. Let's drop Montour to 4.25. I need to save a little bit of money where I can, because again, we still have the awful Kessler deal. Perry's still getting paid a ton. I need to be smart there. So there we go. We get Montour back. The thing I don't like about FIFA deadlines, they pretend that all the other managers flow out to you multiple times in the same day. Whatever. I can look past that. How much is Kreider looking for? We got 7.9 left. Kreider wants 4. That's actually not that bad of a deal. I don't really want him or need him, though. The problem is with Kreider, you know, I gave up a decent amount to get him for the kind of the joke of it. I hate to give up assets for free, but it probably has to happen. He's not looking for that much, though. Nick Backstrom right now is unsigned. Barry, Skinner, Hoffman. We're not even really going to be able to afford any of these guys. Goalie-wise, we'll be looking for a backup. So we'll be looking at like a Halak or an Anderson, Markstrom, or Riddick. Defensively, our top 4 is set, so we don't need to bring in anybody else right now. We don't have the money to do so. We are going to need third pairing guys, though, potentially. And forward-wise, I mean, guys like Skinner and Hoffman might command more than 8 million bucks. Let me double-check the team really quickly. The only thing that's going to stop me from bringing back Kreider is whether or not we go to forwards. How many guys in the top 6 role do we have? It's 1, 2, 3 with Kasha. 4, 5. Perry dropped down. We do technically need another top 6 player. And Kreider could be the guy. After Perry dropped down to a third-line player at 35 years old, we technically need another top 6 guy. I don't think Kreider's the one to trust, but he did have a good season last year. If I can somehow work out a half-decent deal. The problem, of course, is that Lafreniere is going to be ready to step into the top 6 almost immediately. Kreider's got to go. Kreider's got to go. Chris, I like you, but you got to go. You got to go. It's fairly obvious. I don't even know why we debated it for that long. Maybe just for the sake of drama. I don't know. But, yeah, he's got to be on the way out. Not to mention Lafreniere could improve over the course of the offseason and the preseason. So we have 38 players under contract. Just under 8 million bucks. Goaltending-wise, I desperately need an NHL backup. Defensively, We desperately need at least one third pairing guy. The top 4 is sorted. So, say Larson's going to be a third pairing guy, which he hopefully will be. We need one more, and then the AHL we have 3 guys signed. Okay, so we need 4 defensemen and a goalie. 4 defensemen and a goalie to start off here. Of course, injuries are off for the sake of time. Let's see what we can do. So, backup goalie-wise, I'm actually going to look at prospects first, because if there's a good prospect, we do have space to sign them. And there is not. There are only fringe. Only fringe. So we have Markstrom, Yaroslav Halak, Craig Anderson, someone like Riddick. How had Markstrom done the year prior? 919 in 26 games. That's not too bad. Halak was god-awful. Craig Anderson at 39 had a 927. Cam Talbot won in 2 years. So it comes down to Anderson or Markstrom. I'm going to go for Markstrom because I don't trust that Craig Anderson won't drop off. I mean, or we do go for a Kincaid or Riddick to save a little bit more money. But money's not a major concern right now because we can't afford to bring in anybody big anyway. So, I'm going to go for Markstrom on a 1-year deal. And if he doesn't accept, we'll go for somebody else. Defensively, again, we don't really... I mean, it wouldn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense to bring in a Barry or a Krug. Not that it made sense for Edmonton. The problem is we're not going to be good enough. It made sense for Edmonton because we already had McDavid, we already had Draisaitl, we were pretty stacked. We're not at that point right now. So it doesn't make sense to send out, you know, a decent amount of money and then just be like, oh, okay, well, we're going to sign Barry or Krug knowing that we're immediately flipping them. I'd rather try to stay a little bit true to what we have. But we do need a third pairing guy. Which, I mean, as it is too, I'd love to bring in Krug or Barry, but it doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense. And I'm trying to be a little bit safe with the money just in case. So, someone like Scandella, Forbort. I was kind of hoping you guys would be interested in 1-year deals, not 2. First guy interested in a 1-year deal is Chris Weidman. And you have someone like Trevor Daley, Jay Bouwmeester, Derek Engelland, Tim Heed, Freddie Clayson. Not very good options here. Unless we were to spend big money, which again we're not going to do. I'm trying to be a little bit more conservative with the cap. So let's go for either a TVR. What's TVR interested in for a 1-year deal? 1825. That's not bad. It's not too bad. It's probably him or, man, Brendan Dillon's going to be pretty expensive. 3.3 for 1 year. It's not that bad, though. We can afford it. What's someone like Marco Scandella wanting for a 1-year deal? 3? I guess we could bring in one of these guys and just go for the 1-year deal, but they're less likely to accept. They are less likely to accept. Let's take a look at point totals. I don't know why I'm taking this so seriously, but I am. Scandella was terrible last year, so that's a no. Derek Forbort's not going to be much of a point getter. 10 points and a +5. It's not terrible. Brendan Dillon, 12 points and a -4. Dylan DeMello, 16 points and a -18. That's rough. What about Ben Hutton? 20 points, a -9. Michael Stone. God, I wish there was more. I wish there was more in terms of, hey, there's more to go off of than just +-. TBR does have a lot of competition. We have $8 million in cap space, which I've said a couple of times. Could bring back Del Zaster. Yeah, it's kind of rough, man. We don't have great options. We don't have great options. Check blocks and takeaways, right? Yeah, Scandella. I mean, they are all defensive D-men, in fairness. But Scandella only played 28 games, so you're not going to have a ton to go off of. 29 blocks. Only 6 takeaways. Yeah, it's going to be a no. 4 boards. 4 boards. Maybe Krug if he's cheap. He won't be. 92 giveaways. What are you doing? Oh, Brendan Dillon. Of course, it sucks that dump-ins count as giveaways, but what are you going to do? And then DeMello. Not digging it. Alright, Hutton's at least closer to even. What about Michael Stone? Not really digging it. It might be Ben Hutton. It might be Ben Hutton. He might be my preferred option. He might be... I think he is. Take one more look at Hutton. I'd seen forward and thought he'd be the best option. No teams are interested either. It's a fair point. I think I'm going to go for Hutton, though. Last year was close enough in terms of giveaways, takeaways. Had 90 blocks. And had 20 points on the year. I'm going to try to go for Ben Hutton. There's going to be a little bit of competition here, but I do have the tiny bit of extra money to spend. I'm going to go $3 mil for 1 year. Again, the problem is we have a little bit of cap to spend, but I'm not wanting to commit to long-term contracts because we're still dealing with Perry and Getzlaf, and I don't plan on trading them because that's too easy. I want to deal with cap hell for a little bit, you know? So Hutton's fine. Are there any prospects? Because I needed, like, what, 3 other defensemen? And the answer is just about no. Like, Casey Fitzgerald's there, who might honestly take a step up in the top 6 contention by next season. Between Fitzgerald, Ciccone, and Samuelson. Those might be the 3 to sign. Let's see what we got. And Fitzgerald will technically be on his ELC, so we'll try it. Fitzgerald, Joe Ciccone would also be on his ELC. And Samuelson, who for some reason was let go of. Don't know why, but he was. So we will try to get those 3. And then forward-wise, I have no idea what the current situation is. We have a lot of forwards signed. That's the correct answer. Let's see what we're dealing with, though. Let's see what we're dealing with. How are the Ducks looking? We've made the playoffs 2 years in a row. We lost in the second round now this past year in the first round, but it's tough to fix them when they keep making the playoffs. But we did just get Lafreniere, so we have that going for us. So those are the top 9, 10, 11, 12 with Jones. And then again, we have 9, 10, 11 with Bedini, 12 with McLaughlin. So yeah, we already have too many forwards signed. So we can double check who's available. I don't think we're going to be bringing in a better up forward or a better, overall forward. But if there are a couple of prospects worth bringing in, that's where we'll take a look. So obviously even someone like Kapanen and Sonny Milano, that's not going to happen. Yeah, there's no one we'd be interested in bringing in. No one that would make sense at least. Prospect-wise, you do have Gregory Denisenko and Shane Bowers. So I might screw over some of our medium 9 prospects, but I'm absolutely going to throw our name into the hat for both of them. No guarantees that we get them. And then there's quite a few low 6s that there also might be reason to go for. There's also a high 9 in Kovanov. Alex Kovanov. The Kovanov. And the low 6s, guys like Olofsson, Kayumov, who we signed in Edmonton, so I'm not going to go for him, I don't think. Someone like Cam Morrison's a beast. It's really tough to not go after these guys, though. It's really tough. Even though I know it's going to screw over the guys that we already have. But there's also no guarantees that we'll get them if the AI send out offers. So right now, we are up to 45 contracts. I got to be rather selective. I'm going to go for the other high top 9. So that'll be 46 if he ends up signing. Which he might. And then we have to go for Cam Morrison. He'll be number 47. And let's see. Ishkahov's a 70 at 19 years old. 75 at 22, but we signed him last year. Let's go for Ishkahov And that's it. If anyone rejects, we'll go back. Go for Kapanen. He's an RFA. He'll be too expensive. He will be too expensive. Let's see what happens here, though, with these contract offers that we have out. Kovanov signs. Samuelson signs. All right. We got a trade offer Nyquist for a first-round pick. Absolutely not. Come on. Who do we got? Markstrom signed. Ben Hutton signed. Ishkahoff went to Buffalo. Casey Fitzgerald went to San Jose. Cam Morrison signed. Denisenko goes to Colorado. Ciccone comes here. Bowers goes to San Jose. So we missed out on a couple of good players. We did miss out on a couple of good players. No guarantees that we get all of them. Scouts. Our scouting situation's fine. Scouting situation's fine. So we have $4.6 million. No contract offers out. 44 contracts in total. Let's double check what the team looks like before we take our last look at the free agent list. Regardless, I know we're going to have some competition for players making the squad next year, which is good. It's going to depend on off-season development. So our draft pick situation looks fine. Goalie-wise, again, it's going to be Gibson, Markstrom, and the AHL, Villalta, Scott, and Dostal. We'll see who makes it out of those three. Dostal might be sitting, unfortunately. Defensively, we have presumably our top six. And then 3, 4, 5, and... Alright, so I still need one more defenseman for the AHL. One more defenseman. And forward-wise, we have our top 9 with Comtois. Oh boy, so 10, 11, 12 with Kessler, we'll say. And then down in the AHL, we have our top 9 with Kopaka. 10, 11, 12. So yeah, we have way too many forwards as it is. Way too many forwards. There's a good amount of competition there. We basically need one more defenseman, and if there's a top prospect we can look to sign, we will. But aside from that, we're good. We need one more AHL level defenseman, and we will double check what's going on with prospects, we'll say. So potential-wise, nobody else there that I'm really interested in. So we'll go for a higher overall. Again, we have $4.6 million, so the higher ups aren't going to happen. We're going to look pretty much for the best AHL defenseman we can get. Someone like Carrier would make sense. He's an RFA. So he'd end up being re-signed. There's no way the team wouldn't bring him back. Let's see who else we have here. Braden Coburn. Alex Biega. Mackenzie Weegar. Christian Melanin. Don't give me an excuse to sign Christian Melanin. Bryson is a 77 overall at 22 years old. Medium top 6. And I think he's going to be the best option. Jacob Bryson, who the Sabres let go of. Let's do it. It'll be an ELC, but that's okay. And then again, forward-wise, unless there's a really good prospect here, we're done. Of course, we'll see where guys like Backstrom end up. There's still Olofsson as a low 6. Montreal let him go. Screw it. Let's see. See if we can get him. We already have a bit of a log jam for forwards that are going to be playing in the AHL next year, but screw it. What's one more? Maybe we end up getting a decent offer. That is not a decent offer. I do not want Gustav Nyquist. Thank you. Olofsson signs. Bryson signs. We're good to go. Playoff legend Kasperi Kapanen. Is that an actual narrative that I'm not aware of? Is that an actual narrative that I'm not aware of? When did that happen? When did that happen? I'm double checking. Yeah, Brendan Dillon signed and immediately being dealt. Good call. Not that I'm totally against Columbus wants to trade Kapanen. That's not going to happen. Not that I'm totally against seeing it, but I do know James Neal's teeth ended up on the ice, and it's like, is there an update? Is there an update on how that went down? Or is it just, hey, we don't know yet, but James Neal lost teeth? That's the interesting deal. The guy who signed an FHM called Schools, however, made me think of a futuristic ad for horse footwear. Oh, shoofs. I misread that as schools. I'm like, what the fuck is schools? Not quite shoes, not quite hooves, shoofs. That's a fair point. Is it about Mafia time yet? We're getting there. We're getting there. I do want to get this team set up for the next season. Maybe we'll take a look at what the squads are looking like for the start of next year. Just a quick little look. And, yeah. Then more than likely we're switching. Not to piss off Flyers fans in here, but in my fantasy draft on the Pens, and I won the cup with Carter Hart. Well done. Well done. Alright, so. What is the team looking like for this season? That is the question. Goalie-wise, it's Gibson, Markstrom, Villalta, Scott, and Dostal in the AHL. That's fine. Defense is Lindholm, Montour, Fowler, Manson, Larson, and Hutton. Perfect. Perfect. And it's going to be Bryson, Mahora, Saccone, Joseph, Drew, and Samuelson in the AHL, which is really good. So San Diego should have a good team this year. Forward-wise, we have our top 10, 11, and 12 there with Richie. There's going to be a logjam of talent. There's going to be a logjam of talent. Shit. So guys like Sherwood, Morrison, and Antoine Morand, Isaac Lundstrom as well, will be in the AHL this year. But we have too many players for too many spots. The top 6 is pretty much sorted, though. It's going to be Getzlaf, Raquel, Kasha, Henrique, Sprong, and then probably Perry to start the year. And then once Lafreniere makes the jump, those two will be swapped. Which means the rest of the top 9 is what has to be decided. So let's see if we can figure that out first. So again, Getzlaf, Raquel, Kasha, Henrique, Sprong, and Perry. And then the third line is going to be Lafreniere. And then either Comtois, Shore, Jones, Steele, or Richie. Huh. Well, let's take a look here. So Comtois is 21, medium top 6, he basically has to play. Jones is 22, medium top 6, Steele, and Richie. I think Richie and Shore are the two obvious ones to eliminate from contention, we'll say. I'm just going to call up Olofsson and Pervix really quickly. Again, I want to stay loyal to Perry and Getzlaf, even if it kind of sets the team back. It's too easy to immediately trade away all the bad contracts. Way too easy. So the third line again is going to be Lafreniere, and that's between Comtois, Jones, and Steele. And I think Max Jones is the odd man out. Comtois is 21 and an 82, medium top 6, 22 and an 81, 22 and an 80. It's either Jones or Steele. It's on the way out. Or at least not going to be there. Comtois has a 72 in face-off. Steele has an 83. I think it has to be Steele, Comtois, Lafreniere. With Steele at center. I think it has to be. Unfortunately, Max Jones is going to be the odd man out in that situation. And not that I, for sure want to play players based upon their role. We don't necessarily have to do that, of course, but I do at least want to take a look at what the team would look like if it was set up that way. So then Ryan Kessler. Because obviously like Shore, Jones, and Richie on the fourth line would still be pretty damn good. But I want to see if we were to have it based off of player roles specifically, what it would be. So we have 3 players for the job. I think probably it would just be Barry and Kessler in the minors. So it's Terry, Henry, Kopaka, and Kessler. So Terry's a high 9, low elite, medium 9 for Kopaka. And Kessler. So it could be Kopaka, Henry, Terry. And Kessler gets dropped. So what would the squad look like if we have players based upon specifically playing where their player roles say they should be, with the exception of Corey Perry still being in the top 6 until Lafreniere is ready? Let's see what this looks like. Holy righties. Might be worth to have Perry on the top line still. And that way Kasha and Sprong might get a little bit more out of it. So we have Raquel, Getzlaf, Perry, Kasha, Henrique, Sprong. Third line would be Lafreniere, Steele. Actually, who would play that right side? Who has the better shot? Lafreniere. So Comtois, Lafreniere, Steele. That third line would be the future first line. It's kind of the plan. And the fourth line would be Kopaka, Henry, Terry. Which isn't that bad. Defensively, I'd still want probably Lindholm, Manson, Montour, Fowler, and now we have Larson and Hutton. Larson has the better shot, so I'd want him set up for the 1T. Not as if the AI takes 1Ts. Gibson and Markstrom. It's not a bad squad. It's a very young squad as well. The problem right now that we're having is down in the AHL. If we only run players based upon playing them where their roles are, that means guys like Shore, Jones, Nick Ritchie, and Kessler are out of the equation. That said, having Ritchie, Jones, and Shore as a fourth line would be ridiculous. And obviously, Kopaka is not as important with him being a medium 9. No offense. But, you know, Max Jones is still 22, medium 6, and then Ritchie's still 24 and hits everything that moves. And he had a pretty decent season last year with 28 points. So that's just a question over whether or not I want to play players in their role, and if it potentially screws up their development. That's always the argument. And it's just how I want to play this out, as opposed to like, oh, what's the easy thing to do? It's fairly obvious what the easy thing to do is just wheel and deal. Alright. How are the current fourth line's defensive stats? Doesn't matter. Legitimately doesn't matter. There is absolutely nothing to, like, oh, you want to make sure you have a playmaker sniper two-way on the same line, and you want to make sure your bottom six is defensive and physical. It's all RNG. It's completely random as to whether or not your team succeeds or not. So whether or not they're good defensively has just nothing to do with it. And Travis Henry is very good defensively. Kopaka's all right. Terry's not as great, but he's very physical. So, for what that's worth. I'm not even saying that playing players as, you know, their roles define them to be, that there's something to it. I just kind of like to do that. Could trade Ritchie, Jones, and Shore, get a decent little return. Have Kessler be the quote-unquote healthy scratch, even though we don't have injuries on. Because I need to clear out some spots anyway. So, not that I want to trade Max Jones, but he's kind of been jumped. He's been jumped on the depth chart, man. If I play players according to their role. Which, again, I kind of want to, just to keep it kind of simplistic. For the moment, at least. He's only been jumped, too, because Steele has better face-offs. I'm going to double-check trade values here. So Shore, Jones, and Ritchie. What would a potential return look like? What was the buyout on Kessler? Too much. I didn't even look. It's not worth it. We'll keep him. He'll retire sooner rather than later. It's not worth buying him out. He's 36. He's going to retire sooner rather than later. So Jones still has really good trade value. Shore has decent trade value. And Ritchie's is okay. We could get a decent little return for those three. We could get a decent little return for those three. Max Jones is the one. Tougher, notice me. I've noticed you. Congrats. Oh, boy. I'll stay out of the park. You don't have to sell out of the park to me. I know it's really good. I own it. I just don't have time to play it. I do not. Literally, here, I could prove it to you. I own Out of the Park Baseball. Steam. Out of the Park Baseball 19. It's loading. It might have to install an update, but I'll literally show you that I own it. It is installing an update. Wait for it. Bam! Out of the Park Baseball 19. I own it. I just do not have time to play it at all. Will I play it eventually? Maybe. I just don't have time to play it. There's too many games people already want me to balance and then complain like, oh, we only get these uploads once or twice a week. Yeah, because you want me to play everything fucking else too. There's not enough time. Now play it. That's not going to happen. And if you keep asking, I'm going to bop you. Do I want to trade Max Jones or just run him on the fourth line? We're not going to get that much out of him on the fourth line, though. That's the problem. Same with he and Richie. Is there an Eastern Conference team that's interested in all three that can afford all three of them? Let me take a look here. Columbus? You can't afford them. Detroit. Detroit could work. I don't know why they want to trade their draft picks, but Detroit could work. Flip Jones, Shore, and Richie off to the Red Wings. They're all on expiring deals. Bring back some draft picks. That might be the right way to do it. Duncan. Send it to me on Twitter. It'll be easier. Oh, man. Not great. Seems like you have an influx of prospects. You don't say. You don't say. Alright, I'm not wanting to pick Horde here, but in order to make up the value, because they don't have any prospects that they want to trade. I heard the new Red Dead game's good. You should try that game sometime. You're right, I should. How many hours do I have? Actually, the funny thing is I haven't played Red Dead as much as I probably wanted to. But, you know. Alright, Detroit. Let's talk pick hoarding, shall we? Let's talk pick hoarding. How close are we? I know I'm sending you 3 players for the same role. But how close are we? Maybe you shouldn't say that you're interested in all 3. First and a second? I'll take it. We got a first and a second back from Max Jones, Devin Shore, and Nick Ritchie. Probably not as much as we could have gotten back, but it was the only team where we were probably going to be able to trade all 3 of them at the same time. Not the players I planned on getting rid of, but it's worth it to bring back some draft picks, and we still have other prospects who are going to be coming up to the system here very soon. So, I'm alright with that. I'm alright with that. I kind of like playing players within their role just to keep it a little bit fair. Whether or not it actually does anything for the development or not, who knows, who cares. But, I don't know, I kind of like doing it that way. So, that's how we're doing it. So, let me go back. We already went best lines, actually. So, again, Ryan Kessler is just going to sit on the NHL roster and do nothing. He'll sit in the press box and get paid. And we'll have to set up the AHL lineup here. Because, again, we had way too many prospects. J-Mac, I'm way ahead of you, buddy. I'm way ahead of you. Come on now. You think I didn't think of that? Come on, you should play NHL 19 sometimes. I agree. I don't get to play it enough. Oh boy, so the roster's set there. Defense is good. As far as the AHL is concerned, yeah, let's double check this. So the goalies are Villalta and Scott, which I'm fine with. Sorry, Dostal. Defensively, we got to take out Chris Forney and bring in Samuelson. Kessler's getting paid like 6.8 mil. But again, I don't want to trade him. Too cheap. I just want to... I'd rather deal with him being on the roster. Alright, Bryson has a really good shot. So let's go Joseph Bryson, Mohora Saccone, Samuelson, and Hunter Drew. Forward-wise, we need to take out guys like Gazdick and Trop. Thomas actually isn't even ours. Let's bring in Perbix. Corey Trop. 6.8 to do nothing. Pretty much. Because we haven't gotten like a single trade offer for him, and if we did, it wasn't that great. Bring in Jack Bedini. Ben Thompson needs to sit. So we can bring in Olofsson, and we got to find room for Kovanov if we can. And that'll be Carter Rowney, who's under an AHL deal that can take a seat. So that worked out perfectly as far as getting rid of the amount of players that we needed to get rid of. No complaints at all. Worked out perfectly. I'm going to run Morrison on the left-hand side, too. So we're going to go... Oh, Sherwood, Morrison, Cedaroff, Perbix. And at center, 73, 73, 82, 81, 81, 80. Okay, and Antoine Moran's not going to be a center. So we'll have Lundstrom, Dosty, Bedini, and Giroux. All right, there we go. So it's going to be Moran, Lundstrom, Sherwood, McLaughlin, Dosty, Morrison, Olofsson, Bedini, Sidorov, Kovanov, Giroux, and Perbix. Both teams are looking pretty good, all things considered. Whether or not this team makes the playoffs, I don't know. They might. Again, the team is going to change throughout the year, where Perry will eventually be dropped in favor of bumping up Lafreniere. But I don't hate the team. I kind of hate that we had to get rid of Max Jones and Nick Ritchie. I wanted to keep them, but we didn't have to get rid of them. But it made sense to. It's still a strong squad. Still a strong squad. We're listed as contenders. We have extra draft picks now. I think the only thing we're going to look to do is set up the block to trade Ryan Kessler, which I doubt we get an offer for him. But, you know, we'll see what happens. Right? Right. So surplus is literally just going to be listed as 36-year-olds. And we'll see what happens. 36-year-old Kessler. And any draft pick and wants will be completely open. And we'll see if we get an offer. More often than not, we're going to get offers for, like, prospects or picks for prospects, which is fine. And there was a draft pick that it didn't select. But hopefully, we end up getting an offer for Kessler. I doubt it. I don't want to actively trade him, just like I didn't actively trade Chris Russell in Edmonton, Milan Lucic, stuff like that. Centaur, what's going on? Check the other teams after the preseason. J-Mac, did you just get here? Honest question, because if you didn't, you keep saying, like, hey, are you going to do this? Or, hey, do this. And it's literally like, I've already said that's what I'm going to be doing next. So I can't help but think you just got here. If you didn't, either my audio needs to be turned up, or your audio needs to be turned up. It's one or the other. Oh, boy. Because that is exactly what we're going to do. New webcam? No. Just better lighting. Better lighting. I have completely upgraded the lighting system. And I'm still messing with it a little bit. I don't know if it's perfect. But, you know, nah, we just ignore you. That's very obvious. That's very obvious. Oh, God. All right, so let's get to, actually, now that the block's set up, captains. Captains. So it's still Getzlaf, still Perry, and Lindholm. That's actually perfect. The only thing I might have done is hand it to Fowler or Manson. I'll keep it on Lindholm. I really like Cam Fowler, though. You know what, Lindholm? I'm sorry. I love you, but we're taking that away and giving it to Cam. I love me some Cam Fowler. I've been here for a little bit, but I'm doing a couple of other things. All right, it's all good. I'm here for the chat, to be honest. I mean, you wouldn't. I mean, why would you be here? Are you here to see me? No, clearly not. Lisa, what's going on? You look mighty fine. I mean, that doesn't. That's not to do with the lighting, though. It's just in general. Oh, Carter Rowney. Get out of here. Mahora. You probably won't be the captain. Bryson probably won't have a letter either. So, captains here in the AHL. Morand. Oh boy, we don't really have that great of options, do we? Morand, Lundstrom. Right. You know what, Josh Mahora, congratulations. You're going to be an alternate. Morand, congratulations, you're going to be an alternate. Isaac Lundstrom, congratulations, you're going to be an alternate. 3 alternates for San Diego. Because why not? So let's take a look here, shall we, at the beginning of the new season. See what the rosters are looking like. Jackets won tonight. Bruins won. Liverpool won. Everything's great. Oh, stretch out that shoulder. That's a good feeling. Gotta stretch out that shoulder. As a Brit who's new to the sport, this looks so confusing. Not really. I still say video games are the best way to learn a new sport. And I always defer to the story of mine where a buddy of mine that I play hockey with didn't know a damn thing about soccer, about the football. And I got him to play FIFA, and he actually started to get into it. So, I believe in your ability, Mike. I believe. You know, it's even better than Mangiapane scoring. Sam Bennett scoring. Sam Bennett scored. The world's going to end. Look out. The world's going to end. Didn't want to go to roster moves, EA. Wanted to sim to our next game, but that's okay. Want to sim to our next game so I can double check our meaningless overall ratings, because they're always boosted. That is true. We got a couple of Brits in here. I know we got Dunno as a Scotsman. You're not alone. Let's see what we got here for ratings. 92, 94, 96. It's not that bad. That's not that bad. I'm okay with that. Imagine actually thinking soccer's relevant. Imagine not thinking that soccer's relevant. You should be ashamed of yourself. Ashamed. Anyway, quick scroll through some lines. We're not going to go too crazy with it, right? We're not going to go too crazy with it. I mean, if there's something notable to point out, I'm gonna point it out, right? Like, you know, Keller being a 91, Nick Merkley being an 83. Only the most important stuff. Chikrin being an 86. Kyle Capobianco making the roster at an 81. Ranta being an 86, not so much. You have Jens Luke as a healthy scratch. Jens a lock, that's probably not a great idea. Boston. Pasternak's up to a 90. Jesper Eriksson, what the fuck? 3rd overall pick. Okay, that explains it. Eric Stahl's in Boston. Senyshyn made the roster for year 3. Okay. I wish. Carlos an 84, McAvoy at 90. Jake Muzzin to the Bruins. Tuca's still there. Mike Condon as the backup, no thanks. Good old Gemmel Smith. Now, what the hell is it? Gellin. It's Gellin, unlike NHL 12 or whatever. Rudolph? Okay. You probably shouldn't have the 2nd overall pick be a healthy scratch. Just saying. You should probably send him down. Maybe put him into the lineup. I don't know, scratch Solaric, Heinen, Donato, and get him into the lineup. I hate looking at these. I love seeing player development, like Eichel being up to a 91, Middlestat, Nylander being on the roster 3 years in. But a Tipsy Penguin is a great name. I hate seeing how poorly the AI manages certain prospects. Like, again, it's cool to see, like, Dahlin's up to an 87, Goulet's an 84, Borgen made the roster to 79. But it's just so many mismanaged prospects. It's unbelievable. Carolina, Teravainen, Aho, and Josh Bailey. Svechnikov's an 86, Nakash an 83. And on defense, Adam Fox made it up to an 82. Robin Leonard boosted up to an 89. Nedeljkovic at an 81. Like, I'm more looking for examples now of teams that have prospects scratched so I can call out the AI for being dumb. That's very interesting that Columbus had Bittner, Stenlund, and Abramov all make the team in Season 3. Jones, Nidivara, that's about the same. Bob is still there. Andrew, alright, there you go. Andrew Peak. Probably shouldn't be a healthy scratch. I'm gonna call that out. Calgary. Zuccarello, Kirby Reichel ended up making the roster. Sheelington and Valimaki are up there. And Calgary signed Braden Holtby. I think that would solve their issues. Maybe. Mike, thank you for the follow as well. Lazar, Valley of Orion, nothing too crazy. Chicago, fresh off of a cup win. The roster's what you would expect. Strome's up to an 87. Sakura at an 80. Defensively, nothing too crazy. Yoki Harger's an 83. Ian Mitchell made the squad. Crawford and Nilsson still there. Abracadabramov. Still a great name. Petrovich. That's actually a really good nickname. Colorado. Backstrom, Rantanen, Martin Kaut. Wow, Backstrom and McKinnon. Holy shit. Landeskog, Backstrom, Rantanen, Hughes, McKinnon, Kaut. With a third line of Jost, Kerfoot, and Calvert. Colorado always manages to wheel and deal. Jesus. Girard's an 84, Makar's an 81, Chevrolet, Mellock an 81, and Varlamov and Grube are still there. My God, that's a hell of a signing. Dallas, Ben Sagan, Radulov. Also have Marcus Johansson, Joe Pavelski, and Gurionov. Riley Tufte's an 82. Haskin and Klingberg. Their defense is about what you would expect outside of Zaboral being traded for, and he's an 83. Of course, they have Alexiak again. Ottinger is now up 83 overall with 84 Ben Bishop. Thought and Kevin Miller, healthy scratches. Detroit. Calder winners Zadina with 91 Larkin, 87 Mantha. Of course, now they have Max Jones in their lineup with Rasmussen and Tyler Bertuzzi. That line is death. My God. Nick Ritchie with Ratcliffe. Nick Ritchie and Tyler Bertuzzi on the same goddamn team. Cholowski, Barry, Ronick, and Green. Detroit's actually looking pretty good. Our trade helped them out a lot. They had to give up draft picks. They're running Devin Shore as a scratch, but our trade helped them out quite a bit. Edmonton, pool parties up to an 85. Draisaitl up to a 91. Aside from that, though, the rest of the squad's looking pretty weak. Clefbaum, Nurse, Echo Larson, Jones and Bear. Koskinen and Skinner as the goalie tandem. That's far too real. That is far too real. Florida and the Edmonton series have done a good job with staying true to their roster. They do have David Perron. And guys like Borgstrom and Heponiemi are there. Shattenkirk, Ekblad, Yandel, Matheson, Oshikanoff, and Caution. Luongo's still there at 41. Mulligan probably shouldn't be scratched. Los Angeles. It's about you would expect. I mean, they have Grundstrom. Gabe Velarde's on the roster. Martinez, Doughty, Dylan, Philip Broberg at 19 on an NHL roster. Quick and Mrazek. Wow, Jonathan Quick fell off hard. Down to an 82 already. Brad Morrison is a healthy scratch. Probably not for the best. I'm going to call you Clenard. Or Cleanard, perhaps. Thank you for the follow. Minnesota. Mike Hoffman, Granlund, Kaprizov. Everyone's favorite, Kirill Kaprizov. Prize Koivu Kovalchuk ends up in Minnesota. Eriksson, Ek, and Greenway. That's not a bad roster there for Minnesota. He fell quickly. Suter Dumba. Oh, Christ. Well,
anyway, Jared Spurgeon. Yeah. Can we see the Jared Spurgeon?
Jared Spurgeon, go! Yeah, the good stuff. Sealer and Belpedio. The Dubnik and the Capo Cackle. Daly. And again, there's another great example. Pretty sure Noel Goodler shouldn't be a healthy scratch. Probably shouldn't be. Should probably be playing him. No offense to Josh Levo. Should probably be playing him over a Josh Levo. Just gonna throw that idea out there. Drouin, Kokaniemi, and Capo Caco. Oh, Christ alive, there's so many memes. Domi, Gallagher, Lekanen, Dano, Shaw, Hudon, Paling's on the roster. Mete, Weber, Petrie, Juleson. Carey Price and Craig Anderson. Not bad. Not bad. New Jersey. Kirby Doc, second line center. Quinville, Pavel Zak on the fourth line. Draft stories mean everything, they sure do. Gardner, Severson, Butcher. What do we got on goal here? Still Corey Schneider with Mackenzie Blackwood. Schmaltz. And again, Mike McLeod. Probably shouldn't be a healthy scratch. Just gonna call that out. Easy solution. Drop Riley Sheehan. Make a trade. Easy solution. Find a way to trade one of these, or, you know, trade a forward. Trade a forward, maybe, for a draft pick. Maybe trade a forward and a defenseman. Trade a forward, Santini and that scratch defenseman, bring in a better defenseman. Like, come on. Easy fixes here, AI. Easy fixes. Oh, Nashville. Looking like you would expect. Outside of Jason Pominville and Justin Kirkland making the roster. Their defense is the same. Fabro and Carrier have made the roster, though. Phil R, what's going on? Goalie-wise, Rene and Saros. Frederick Ellard has almost made the roster. Is the enforcer role being phased out of the NHL? Yes. Very much so. Very much so, Mike. Phil R, no complaints. Easy fixes aside, maybe no team wants to make that deal. I could sit here and look at what teams... I could sit here and look at what teams would want to make a deal there. Even then, for the sake of prospect development, you could also just send him down. Play him in the AHL. Leo Barzal. Jesus, Barzal's a beast. Eberle, Beauvillier still there. Dalcol, Bellows, Tim Schaller. Lucas Johansson. Grice and Sorokin there. Boychuk, Van de Sample, and Wotherspoon. The latter two probably should not be there. Why is the enforcer being phased out? Concussions and lawsuits. Holy New York. Skinner, Duchesne, Kreider. Wow, Kreider went back to New York. I got fleeced. Kreider went right back to New York. That's awesome. Skinner, Duchesne, Kreider. What an offseason they've had lately, apparently. Bushnevich, Zibanejad, pulled Colson. Ferland, Howden, Fast, Hedel, Anderson, and Morgan. My God, that fourth line. Hedel, Anderson, and Morgan Frost. And defensively is Shea and Pionk. So their defense is struggling a bit, but that offense is nuts. Lundqvist and Shestyorkin. Lundqvist has gone up in overall. And again, someone like Ryan Lindgren probably shouldn't be a healthy scratch. Either send him down or play him in favor of Brendan Smith. Shabatawa. So again, Ottawa signed Braden Point. They do that on most occasions. Especially if the Sens sell at the real-world deadline, they're going to be able to pick him up that much easier. Kachuk is there, Stone, Andreas Janssen, Formanton, Colin White. Defensively, Shabatawa and Torrey Krug goes to Ottawa. Lajoie, CC, DeMello, and... Wow, they signed 3 defensemen. Krug, DeMello, and TVR. Goalie-wise, it's Gustafsson and Mike Smith. And healthy scratches, guys like Pajot, Patarin, and Harper. See, the Flyers, Giroux, Couturier, Voracek, JVR, Patrick Konechny. Nothing really too crazy. Guys like Rubtsov, Obey, Kubel, and Allison have made the roster. Donskoy signed. Defensively, again, nothing too crazy. Just further development. They signed Tyler Myers, Elliott, and Carter Hart at an 85. It's going to be their starting goalie. Lindblom, Bailey, and Haig as the scratches. Pittsburgh, Gensel, Crosby, Kessel. That's basically the same roster you'd expect. At least I would. Development from guys like Bjorkqvist. Defensively, Jack Johnson's down to a 77. Ouch. Goalie-wise, Matt Murray rebounds up to an 89. They have McCann, Simone, and Blandisi as scratches. San Jose, Myers up to an 86. Jumbo's still there. Somela's improved. Defensively, they still have Burns and Carlson. Kyle Woods made the roster. They signed Casey Fitzgerald. Let's see, Jones and Bebo as the tandem. Someone like Jeremy. Okay, so like right here is a massive issue. A massive issue. Chartier can be scratched. You can make the argument. Shane Bauer should not be scratched. Not even close. You can play him over, Michael Raffel, who's listed as a depth forward. Sorensen's listed as a depth forward. The AI needs to be smarter. He either needs to play or be sent down. Has to be. The AI has to be smarter than that. That's half the reason why it's easy to fleece them. They waste their assets. St. Louis is what you would expect. Musil, Kostin, Kyrou. Their defense is still pretty good with that top 4. Goalie-wise, still Jake Allen, who eliminated us in the playoffs. Barbashev and Fabry scratches alongside Bozak. They're paying Bozak a lot of money to be a scratch. Just like we're paying Kessler a lot of money to be a scratch. Miller, Stamkos, Kucherov. That roster is what you would expect. Guys like Radish and Colton make the roster. Edmund Sergachev, McDonough, Foote, Machine, and Thomas. Goalie-wise, Vasi and Ingram. For Hagee, Gabe Fortier should probably not be a healthy scratch. Just gonna throw that out there. Gabe Fortier should probably not be a healthy scratch, EA. He should either be sent down, or more accurately, be playing in the bottom 6, even the 4th line. Come on. Come on. Gotta be smarter than that. Need smarter AI than that. San Jose didn't really have anything notable. Just the fact that Burns and Carlson were both still there. Toronto, Matthews, Marner, of course, are up there. Tavares, Nylander. The top 4 is nuts. Riley Zaitsev, Dermott, Liljegren, Borgman, and Rasmus Sandin's on roster to start year 3. Goalies, Anderson and Halak. Lindbergh and Lucas Spiza. Toronto would burn to the ground with Lucas Spiza there. That bottom 6 is trash. Of course it is. They have too much money invested in the top. Sven Berchke, an 85. Pedersen, 92. Besser, 91. Jonathan Dollins there with Horvat. I ended up getting Trevor Lewis for Tannins there. Quinn Hughes and Olli Levy are the top D pairing. Edler, Tanev, Pouliot, and Stetcher. Goalie-wise, Demko is there with Ryan Miller. Ryan Miller went back to Vancouver. So the youth is starting to take over. Vegas is Patches, Carlson, Marchessault, Smith, Tuck, Silverberg. Thank you for that first-round pick, by the way. Glass and Vanek. Defensively, Theodore Miller, Schmidt, Bronstrom. Good development still. Fleury, still the man there. Carrick, Holden, Kevin Connaughton as the scratches. 2 teams left. Winnipeg, Wheeler, Scheifele, Laine, Ehlers, Little Connor, Vesalainen, Roslovic, Patan. That roster's nuts. And they have Dale Weiss. Defensively, Morrissey, Bufflin, Nogier, and Trouba. Yeah, their defense is a bit weak. But they still have Hellebuck in goal. Spacek probably shouldn't be a scratch. He should have to be in the minors or wherever. Same for Appleton. Wasting assets. And washing machine. Ovechkin, Kuznetsov. Wilson made it up to an 88. Oshiel or Burakovsky. And of course they ended up getting Brent Gates. They must have signed him as a free agent after we let him go. Gersic and Frederick Olofsson. Defensively, it's what you would expect, I suppose. And then again, like Bowie, Siegenthaler, both healthy scratches. The goaltending, Vanasek and Kincaid. RIP. That is harsh. So those are the rosters for the start of Season 3. We will not check back more than likely until Season 5, just to give it a little bit of space in between. But there you go, Season 3 update. Next time out on this mode, we'll begin our 3rd season. And I'd like to think that we're going to be in a pretty good spot with this roster. But again, not wanting to immediately get rid of Perry, not wanting to immediately get rid of Kessler. We're dealing with the consequences. You did that series in 17 or 18, right? Getting Lundqvist a cup? Sure did. The Manhattan Project. On this, I mean, well, if you're watching on YouTube, this very channel. Anyway.